And maybe?
It's preparing. Okay.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
going live stream. It's going live stream. And you need to record on here as well.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Dandava Pranams. I believe we are live.
You need to record on here as well. We're streaming on Facebook.
We're going to do that. We're going to do that. Unfortunately, it looks like we do have captions on Facebook. I do apologize, anybody. I believe you can turn them off locally. I tried figuring out how to do that. For everyone, I couldn't. So then we're going to record. The record buttons. Record. Are we recording to the cloud or the computer?
Computer.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your patience. Dandavat Pranams. I believe we are recording and we are live. So welcome everybody to the first Tattva Panel event. Thank you so much for joining us. It's really, really wonderful to have you here. Dandavat Pranams. My name is Charuni Dasi. And yeah, I really want to welcome you to this panel where we're looking to cultivate unity and diversity through Tattva Siddhanta. And to do this, we're going to take shelter of the most expert and erudite Acharya, Srila Pujapad Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. But we're not actually going to do that through his books. We're going to do that through the beautiful necklace of verses for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Sri Gaudiya Kantahara. And we do actually have the Guru Tattva chapter, which will be posted on Facebook and WhatsApp and everywhere after the event if you want to check that out. So since this is such a large subject, we've invited 4 very special guests today to be our panelists. And together they actually have more than a century and a half of dedicated practice behind them. So I'm really, really, really excited to hear what they have to say about this beautiful subject. And also, since this is the soft event and the first event, soft launch, first event, we really want to invite everybody here watching live and also the recordings. We really want to invite you to participate. We want to invite you to ask questions and also offer feedback. And we have our beautiful honeybee here, Madhuri Devi Dasi. She's going to be checking the chat. I'll be doing later as well and collecting all of the wonderful nectar of your questions and feedback. And we're going to use that to help develop and create future events. So please don't be shy. All right. This is not a sectarian thing. Everybody is welcome and your voice really does matter to us. So please do contribute. And yeah, once again, this isn't sectarian. We really do want to be looking for unity in our diversity and to acknowledge and respect the whole Chaitanya tree with all of its many, many branches. And so we only have one rule, which is very, very simple. Just be nice or be gone. So if you have an interest in the subject and you're happy to abide by that, then you are extremely welcome. And, if you're not familiar with anything I've just been saying, if you're feeling a bit lost, don't worry. We've all been there. When I was new, I really didn't understand anything for about the first 6 months in the movement. So, join the Facebook, ask questions. And, there's a lot of very experienced, wonderful devotees I can see online here today. Hopefully we'll get you some very beautiful answers. So, please do stick around. You're most welcome and your voice matters as well. Okay. And yeah, one last thing, since this is the first event, neither my husband or I, neither of us have ever organized an online event like this before. It's very different to organizing something in person. We're still learning the technology and figuring things out. So we beg your patience and your understanding. And we also ask, please do give us feedback and help us grow and learn in that way. We really, really appreciate it. So thank you very much for that. Now we're going to start with a short Mangala Charana. followed by a bhajan. For those who are familiar, the bhajan is going to be Gurudev Kripa Karke. And if you have this book, it's page 360. If you don't, I believe Madhuri Devidasi is very kindly going to paste the words into the chat. Okay, so we can begin. Do you want to start, Mangalacharya?
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaisnavamscha Nirupam Sagrajata Saharana Pitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Prajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Dalita Sri Vishakambitanscha Om Jnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Shakshurum Litam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Namo Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Sri Simad Bhakti Vedanta Narayani Tinamine Sri Krishna Lila Katane Sudaksham Audharya Madhurya Gunascha Yuktam Varam Varinyam Purusham Mahamtam Narayanam Tvam Chirasa NamamiRidandinam Bhaktashiram Manincha Krishna Pratap Jalita Itahidi Chaitanya Lilamrita Sarasanam Narayanam Tvam Satam Prapadye Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatayane Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Swamini Iti Namine Sri Varshavana Devi Daitaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhabe Namaha Madhurya Jvala Premadya Sri Rupanoga Bhaktita Sri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namosute Namaste Gauravani Sri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudapa Siddhantadvanta Harine Vamchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhya Evacha Patithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. So everybody can sing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So what we just did is Mangalacharan, basically an invocation to beg for forgiveness, guidance, and blessings. And especially we're asking for forgiveness because, as my wife mentioned, this is our first event that we are directing, organizing, and being part of in the Vaishnava community. So we are asking that please you forgive any of our mistakes along the way. And as we get along, you know, with each event, we're hoping that we can get to a point that we can be more expert to present this knowledge, information, and Tattva Siddhanta to you. But from the first time, we're asking, please give us some leeway, some room to keep growing. So, Gurudeva Kripa Karake मुझको अपना लेना
गुरुदेव कृपा कर रखे Juga apana lena.
Me sharana para teri charano me jaga dena.
Mena sharan jehari charana me jagadena.
Charano me jaga dena.
Charana me jagadena.
Karuna nidhi nama tera, karuna marasa otu.
Karuna nidhi nama tera. Karuna varasa hotu.
Soye hue bhagya ko, he nata jaga otu.
Soye he na
Meri nabha babara dhole, उसे पारा लगा देना.
मेरी नाव डोले उसे पार लगा देना.
उसे पारा लगा देना.
उसे पार लगा देना.
तुम सुख के सागर हो, भक्ति के सहारे हो.
तुम सुख के सागर हो, भक्ति के सहारे हो.
मेरे मन में समाये हो, मुझे प्राण से प्यारे हो.
मेरे मन में समाये हो, मुझे प्राण से प्यारे हो.
नितमल जपो तेरी, मेरे दोष भुला देना.
Nita Maharaj Kundari Dasha Buddha.
मेरे दोष भुला देना.
मेरे दोष भुला देना.
मैं संतों का सेवक हूँ, गुरु चरणों का दास हूँ.
मैं संत का सेवक हूँ, गुरु चरण का दासी हूँ.
नाही नाता बोलाना मुझे, इस जगह में अकेला हूँ.
नाथ नाथ मुझे जग में अकेले हूँ.
तेरे द्वार का भिखारी हो, नहीं दिल से बुला देना.
तेरे द्वार पर भिखारी हो, नहीं दिल से बुला देना.
नहीं दिल से बुला देना.
नहीं दिल से बुला देना.
जय गुरुदेव, जय गुरुदेव, Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Rupanuga Guru Parampara Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gora Hari Bol Hari Gol Pramanandi Hari Hari Bol. Eventually get this mic. Okay, hopefully it sounds better now.
Nityananda Prabhu. I don't know if anyone else is having this problem, but my sound, what I was listening was breaking
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, for Taruni.
Yeah, even though I turned everything off to see if I could get better sound, it was going.
Maybe the microphone,
Better
the
now?
microphone. You've got a microphone in your ear. There's a microphone there.
Yeah,
Taruni.
we had it. We just
It was-
tried.
No, but you have a
pushing-
microphone on you as well, don't you?
It
No,
was just
one mic.
Taruni. Nityananda Prabhu, we could hear you well. It's just that if
Yeah, it might have just been I was too close. It might have been I
Yeah.
was too close. Apologies for that. Okay,
Okay.
No, we just want to
So-
hear your voice.
thank you.
Basically, we can start now with a little bit of the introduction for the Tattva Panel and why are we choosing this particular subject or series of subjects, as you will see forward. Basically, in 2010 or 11, I was in Vrindavan in India and went to Rupsanath and Gaudiya Math. They have a very nice library over there. And I was looking at the different books that they had available in all the languages. And then I started looking at the section in English. And one brahmachari, he's living there, he came to the library, entered, and walked to me. And he says, "Which book are you looking for?" And I'm like, well, I need to find something that I can study and learn and get more understanding about our philosophy. So he looked at me and went back and checked on the books he had in collection. And he came with one book and he gave it to me. He says, "This book is the most important book you can ever read." He says, "If there is right now a fire and this entire library is starting to burn and I can only rescue one book, a single book, then this is the one I'm going to save." And I looked at him a bit puzzled and I'm like, "But what about Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita? What about Jaiva Dharma? It's got everything in it." And he says, "Well, all of these other books, they explain different parts of the philosophy. But this particular one, it contains everything that we can ever wish to learn about, to understand. It is in this single book." So he showed me the book, I opened it, and it was in Hindi. And to my great misfortune, I don't read Hindi. It's very difficult for me to read it. I take so much time to read, syllable by syllable. So I was like, "Oh my God, do you have this in English? Please tell me you have it in English." And he said, "No, it's not available in English." So I asked him, "Well, who published this book? Maybe I can talk to the publishers and ask them to publish it in English." And he said, "Well, this is a very old book and it was published long before by a devotee. So he told me a story. He said, the person who wrote this book is not the person who published it. And the person who wrote this book is not the person who spoke these shlokas. So he went into the detail about the story of the book. He said, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he was bhakti, devotion, siddha, perfection, anta, conclusive. So he was expert on these topics of bhakti, devotion, and he was able to create conclusive arguments to establish each one of the different topics. So then he was showing me with his finger pointing at each different of the titles and reading it aloud. And I was like, oh, okay, now I can understand the sound, because we are familiar with certain Sanskrit terms. So he was saying, okay, this book has 19 different topics. And each topic, it's a conclusive truth. You cannot find an argument that will be able to counter these particular verses that are presented here. He says the devotee who wrote this book was Atul Krishna Datta. So there were two friends in Bengal, Atul Chand and Atul Krishna, and they used to work at the railway company. So one time the devotees, they were passing by, and they went to the office there and said, we're going to have a very important person coming through this railway station, so we need your help to help us organize security and that he can pass by easily without any delay, because he's going to come to present some lectures on the topic of bhakti. So both the gentlemen, then they helped the devotees and they arranged for Bhaktisiddhanta to pass through. But they didn't have the darshan of him. They were just arranging the things for the devotees to be able to do the seva. So then later on, they went to the mat. They were curious about this person. Who is this person who came through here? So they went to the mat and they met the devotees there. And the person they met took them straight in front of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And they had a small conversation. And both gentlemen, they immediately gave their heart to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. So this is known as Vidvadrudi, is when the guru sees the disciple sees the guru, and they establish a connection. So in this way, there was no need for any formal type of initiation at this particular moment. So then later on, these gentlemen, they began coming more and more to the mat to offer service, to listen Harikatha, and because they had a chance due to their work to travel throughout India easily, then wherever they will go, they will try to plan so they will be in a city where there will be Harikatha by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. So one of these gentlemen, he then took sannyasi and he joined the mat full time. But the other one, Atul Krishna Datta, he remained as householder and he came with his entire family to the temple. He made his wife and children devotees. So as he was traveling with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta and listening to the Harikatha in the mat, he was recording all the different shlokas that he was explaining throughout the class. And he made a small notebook, which would be called Shlokamrita, a collection of different shlokas. Then later on, this book came to some other person who saw it, and they were like, oh my God, we need to publish this, we need to make this hard copy and make it available for everybody. So then later on, this book ended up in Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Mat, and the brahmachari was saying, this is the only book you can save, then nothing is being lost. And move forward a few years back, when I was in Bangalore with Vaikant Maharaj, we were there together. So a devotee mentioned, Nityananda, I came to Ras Bihari Lal and they have a copy of the book that you like so much in English. So, oh my God, I need to get it. So I asked him to bring please 2 copies. He did that. He came to Bangalore with 2 copies. And I started to read the book, and I was like, immediately, I became a convert. Okay, this is really the best book we can have. And I don't mean to say that every other book, is useless or we should not read. No, please don't misunderstand me. But it explains, it presents everything in a way that then we can read, and any other book that we are reading, we will be able to understand much more clearly. And not only that, when we get a chance to talk with people, well, then we can have an arsenal of the best shlokas quoted by Sri Santa Saraswati to present any of these 19 tattvas. So today we're going to begin with the first chapter of this book, the first tattva, which is Guru Tattva. And the reason is because we have the living entity, the Jiva, and then we have a round, which will be Bhagavan, and the diameter connecting the Jiva with Bhagavan is Guru. So that will be Vyas, this diameter. So we having Guru. Once we understand this topic, then we go to the next topic, next chapter, and like that progressively we will be able to delve and dive deeply in each and every one of these topics. So my time is over, and we're gonna get time now for Sipal Vaikans Maharaj to introduce the participants who we will have today. And the format of this panel was supposed to be 2 hosts and at least 3 panelists answering the questions. And today we were asking Sriman Budara Prabhu to be here, but he couldn't. So I'm just covering for him. The next of the events is going to be between Vaikas Maharaj and Budara Prabhu. So please welcome Vaikas Maharaj.
And just asking to unmute.
All right,
Yes.
once again, Dandavat Pranams to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. I'll keep this short, especially because Shodananda Prabhu is listening, and I've been a harsh critic of many moderators in the past. And now it's coming back on my head that if I aren't a decent moderator, then, it will look very bad. Now, anyway, we're going to keep this short and sweet. This is a trial run. This is a concept that we're hoping that will evolve, and we'll understand how to do it better and better each time. But it's going to take a little bit different format than your general Zoom meeting. Rather than having sequential speakers speaking substantially on whatever topic it is, we're going to have specific topics broken down, and each speaker is going to speak a little bit on it, and then the other speaker a little bit on it, and then the other speaker a little bit on it. Nuggets, little flowers, little gems on each subject matter. And at the end, we'll just summarize it briefly and then move on. And we're also trying to figure out how to make it a little more interactive, right? So that the audience can feel more involved and have the opportunity to have their voices heard, at least in the form of questions, if not in direct participation. So I'm not going to speak any more than that. We have 4 speakers slanted. First, Shamrani Didi, then Brajanath Prabhu, and then Kamala Didi and Tirthanidhi Didi, who are, I think they're both in England. I know Kamala's in England. Is Tirthanidhi Didi in England as well? That I don't know.
No, I am
She's in
from
Brazil?
Colombia.
Where is she?
I am from Colombia. Have you listened me?
Yeah. Oh, you're in Colombia. Okay, Brazil, Colombia. I get confused now. Anyway,
But she's in New York at the moment.
3 questions. The 3 aspects of Guru Tattva that we're going to be hearing about today are: 1, why is the relationship between a guru and a disciple considered so important in the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition? Fundamental. 2, what qualities should one look for in a bona fide guru? And how can a sincere seeker be sure that they have found the right guru for them? Very important. Relates very well to that first one. And then 3rd, How does Sri Guru help the disciple to develop the faculty of discrimination in order to properly understand spiritual knowledge? So I'm certainly very eager to hear what our devotees have to say on that. So without ado, we'll turn to Srimati Shamrani Didi and ask her to speak for 5 or 6 minutes on that first point.
Agyanam timirandasya Gyananjana salakaya Chaksurannalitam yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. I offer my obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, to Srila Gurudev, to all of our Guru Varga, and all the assembled devotees. It's harder to speak for 5 minutes than it is to speak for a half hour, getting an ocean in a jar for a conditioned soul. So let's see. Why is it so important? Why is the relationship between Guru and bona fide disciple, why is that so important in the Gaudiya tradition? Gaudiya tradition means the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In verse 2 of Manushiksha, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami says to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is non-different from Nanda Nandan, Sri Krishna, covered by the mood and complexion of Srimati Radhika, and our Guru, our greatest Guru. So who is Guru going to be? The representative of Mahaprabhu, the manifestation of Mahaprabhu's energy and mercy. In the next verse, Raghunath Das Goswami, this is our Gaudiya tradition now, because anyone who's empowered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Gaudiya tradition acharyas. So in the next verse, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami says, "O mind, if you want to attain Goloka Vrindavan and worship Radha and Krishna on the platform of Ragatmika Bhakti, then every day with great love, one must bow down and remember Sri Sarup Damodar Rupa Goswami, his elder brother Sri Sanatana Goswami, and all his associates who are recipients of his mercy." So here's an order that if I want that type of love that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give, then I must contact that manifestation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So also in Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Jaiva Dharma, there's that very important verse, beginning Amnaya Praha, that is, we accept all the Vedic literatures as evidence that are accepted by our Guru Parampara. So our Guru Parampara is coming as through the Gaudiya tradition. So we accept ancient 5,000-year-old texts that our Gaudiya Guru Varga accepts. For example, we accept that verse, Acharya Mam Viganyam Navamen Manyeta Karhachit Namarcha Buddha Suyeta Deva Maya. Get the rest. One should accept, this is Krishna's words himself, one should accept the Guru as my very self. One should not envy him and think that he's an ordinary mortal and disrespect him or neglect him, because he has all the potency of all the demigods. So very, very strict. Also in our line of Gaudiya tradition is Srila Viswanath Chakrabarti Thakur. Yashat Prashadat Bhagavad Prashadat. Yashat Prashadan Nagati Kutopi. That is, one who pleases the spiritual master, Krishna is pleased, and one who fails to do so, in Srila Prabhupada's words, his whereabouts are unknown or he's nowhere. Then we have Rupa Goswami, Gaudiya Acharya. In all the 64 limbs of bhakti, he says the very first is Guru Padashraya. First of all, surrender to a bona fide guru, and confirming Bhagavad Gita, surrender to him, inquire of him, and follow him. And then how to feel to the Guru even is also given by our Gaudiya Acharya Raghunath Das Goswami in explaining his feelings of separation for his Guru, Sri Rupa Goswami. Now that I've lost the Lord of my life, Sri Rupa Goswami, Vrindavan is like a desert, Govardhan is like a python, in that way. Radhakund is like a tigress. So teaching by their example and giving instruction to us through their own example, that intense feelings of separation for Guru, without which one cannot have any sense of separation from Radha and Krishna. If we can't weep for Guru, then we can't weep for Radharani, and we can't do bhajan, there's no connection. It's so everything is on the basis of one's relationship with Sri Guru. Now, Hari Bhakti Vilasa explains through Sanatana Goswami that the Guru is like the water, the disciple or the jiva is like the lotus, and Krishna is like the sun. So when there's no water, the lotus flower gets burnt by the sun. And when the lotus flower is in the water, then the sun makes the lotus flower blossom and makes him nourished. So then, of course, there's Srila Sanatana Goswami's example that just as when bell metal turns into gold by mixing with mercury in an alchemical process, so an ordinary low-class person can become a brahmana by the process of initiation. And what is initiation? Diksha. Without the di and the cha, giving of transcendental knowledge and taking away all obstacles caused by offenses and sins, there's no way to make any advancement in Krishna consciousness. And therefore, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami says, Nama Shrestha Manamapi Sachipuchamatra Swarupam. Only by Sri Guru, now I have faith in Nam, I have faith in my mantra, I have a mantra, I have service to Radha and Krishna, I have Giriraj Govardhan, I have the pastimes of separation, of Mathura, of Radharani and the gopis. So everything is on the basis of Guru. Although one cannot see, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, although one cannot see the super soul, because he cannot see, and the super soul comes out in the form of Sri Guru. Therefore, Acharya Mam Vijnaniyam, one must accept, it's Srimad Bhagavatam, one of the great scriptures quoted by Mahaprabhu. One must accept the bona fide spiritual master and in order to be free from material attachment, in order for his nam to be not nama parad, but to go to Shuddha Nam. And what are his qualifications? He has to be realizing the Vedic knowledge, he has to know all the Vedic knowledge, and he has to be detached. And one must accept that in order to give him Shabda Brahman. I know that I just passed the 5 or 6 minute mark, so I'm going to stop here. Thank you.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Very condensed, very rapid. We're experimenting. You did really well. Now we'll follow with Brajanath Prabhu. And don't worry if we tend to repeat some of the same things, because it's good for us. There are certain points that are very, very important. And if subsequent speakers reinforce that same point, that just shows us the importance of it. Okay, thank you. Brajanath Prabhu. I think you're on mute. You have to unmute.
Thank you, Maharaj, for being present in this beautiful forum. Also, my dandavats to yourself, to Shamarani, Srimati Shamarani, Didi, to all the devotees who have assembled today. And especially my unlimited dandavat pranams to our Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga, especially Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, and all their beautiful associates. Agyanati Miranda Sajananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmiritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vatkaram Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripahatamaham Bande Sri Guru Dinatarine Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Taralaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tada Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nitya Ananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So question is, why is the relationship between a guru and a disciple considered so important in the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition? So we should know, what is the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition? It is the tradition that comes from Sri Krishna himself, in especially the form of Sri Satchidananda Gaura Hari. If we know what is the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, then we can also understand how important it is to accept a guru in order to make our life perfect. Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, directly it is related with Sri Krishna and with the Brahma Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, especially with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this succession of spiritual teachers, the message that it conveys is how to re-establish the spiritual loving relationship with Sri Krishna. As a living entities, all of us have that capacity to have a loving relationship with Sri Krishna. That is when we are in our pure position, when we are free from any and all upadis or impediments. On our own strength, we cannot reach perfection. It is not possible. This is the arrangement that Sri Krishna has made for living entities who are manifestations of Tatastha Shakti. They are incomplete. In order to become complete, they need some special nourishment, some special arrangement, which will make them intensely grateful and indebted towards those great souls who are helping them to obtain perfection. And here we see that necessity that is at the moment not present when the living entity tries to become happy without the guidance of those great personalities. What is that necessity? Yeah, it is the kripa, or the mercy of Sri Krishna himself. There is no greater and more merciful and compassionate manifestation of Sri Krishna than Sri Guru himself. In order to help and teach and make the living entities successful and happy forever and properly situated in their spiritual position, Sri Krishna himself manifested as Sri Gurudev in Navadvip Dham. He himself manifested and showed what is the real meaning of Sri Guru. It means that he is the ideal servant. He is completely absorbed in transcendental bhav or rasa, bhakti rasa. And in that way, Sri Krishna thought, if I myself teach the living entities how to be the ideal servants, then there is hope for them. Because in this present age, it is very complicated. Yeah, it is said in the scriptures. That is a very unfortunate position in this Kali Yuga, that all living entities are quarreling for nothing. And they have no taste for spiritual activities. they are fully covered by the lower modes of the material energy. That is the mode of ignorance and the mode of passion. If they will be able to come to some understanding of who they really are and where they are situated and how they can perfect their life, then and then only they will appreciate the presence and kripa, the mercy of Sri Krishna through the form of Sri Guru. Shakshak Daridvena Samasta Shastrir Uktas Tathaba Vyate Eva Sadavir. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has glorified the position of Sri Guru. And he's telling in his Sri Guru Ashtakam that Sri Guru is the direct manifestation of Sri Krishna. With these eyes that we have, we cannot perceive Sri Krishna directly. But we can, by the mercy of Sri Krishna, perceive in a direct relationship, a human-like relationship with Sri Gurudev. Now, who is Sri Gurudev? Again, he is the manifestation of the kripa, the mercy of Sri Krishna. In this regard, we have learned that all Vaishnavas, all Vaishnavis, they are all representative of that mercy, and they guide the living entity by their affection and their kindness to the lotus feet of the Supreme Guru himself. That is Sri Sachinandana Gaura Hari, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and their special, very intimate assistant, Sri Rupa Goswami and Srila Raghunath Goswami. That is, if we want to really benefit of what the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition is offering, then there is no any other option than to fully surrender to Sri Gurudev. Then and then only we will be able to appreciate what is the real meaning of our relationship with Sri Krishna. And we will appreciate even that much more that religion is not just a tradition or a ritual, but it is a spontaneous, loving relationship with the Supreme Personality, who has now descended in a most sweet manifestation in Sri Vrindavan Dham as a small teenage boy, and he loves to be around his friends and his girlfriends in Sri Vrindavan Dham. And the love that they experience, they want us, insignificant living entities who are fallen, who are full of anarthas. They want us to be part of that by offering us this special kripa. So who can appreciate what the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition is offering? They will become convinced, I need to be in the association of those who can help me. And what is that special gift in the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition? Sri Sachinandana Gaura Hari. Why he descended as the supreme bhajan shiksha guru for all living entities. How to practice our sadhana and bhajan, he has shown himself in Sri Puridam, with his intimate associates. He has explained or presented to the whole world, what is the essence of all the Vedas by presenting and from core of heart, uttering these 8 prayers of Sri Shastikam, the glorification of the holy name, what it will provide to the sincere chanter, and how we can, by that process of chanting the holy name, obtain complete perfection. So those who are familiar with why Sri Sachinandana Gaura Hari has manifested, they will understand what is the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. Prema rasa niryasa korete ashvadhan. To taste the prema of his own devotees, not just any devotee, but his best devotee. Sri Krishna himself manifested as Sri Sachinandana Gaura Hari. For what other reason? To distribute and to teach and give the process of Raga Marga Bhakti Loke Korite Pracharan. Why? Because he is Rasik Shekhar, Parama Karun, and most merciful. He loves to relish the topmost spiritual happiness. Therefore, he wants to taste that which is in the heart of his devotees, especially Srimati Radharani. For those reasons, Sri Satchidananda Gaura Hari has manifested his pastimes. If we understand that, then we will be more than anything eager to take shelter in those who are in the Anugatya of Sri Satchidananda Gaura Hari, especially Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunadas Goswami. So Maharaj is telling, so I just complete then Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati Kriyatam Yati Kutopi Lapyate Tatra Lolyam Api Mulyam Ekalam Janma Koti Sukriti La Labhyate. I will continue in the answer of the next questions. What is the necessity to obtain that mercy? Yeah, it is the lolyam, the greed. So anugatya and greed and kripa, these are essential elements in the relationship with Sri Gurudev and the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Maharaj.
Thank you so much. Very interesting how the same topic is covered in different ways, and we'll review that a little bit later on. So now we go to Srimati Tirthanidhi Didi, who's in Colombia, I believe. If you would like to speak now, 5 or 6 minutes, and then we'll follow up with Kamala Didi in England. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Dandash Pranam Vancha Kalpataruvesha Kripa Sindhu Vyavacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavivyo Namo Namaha. I offer my pranams to all the, especially the Lotus Feet of my Gurudevas, Nitela Pravista Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Nitela Pravista Vishupal Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, all Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis present here, my Dandash pranams. I'm very delighted to be here in your association and hearing this Harikatha. Then Shamani was speaking about these verses of Srila Raghunadas Goswami in relation to the importance to take shelter of a bona fide guru. To understand, Brajana Prabhu make the evidence to understand the importance of this Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, how it's important and how it's a blessing to the world to be in this line where the pure conceptions of real spiritual goal of life is being given. These days I was reading something about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Bani, and he's stressing so much the importance to be under the shelter of the Guru, to understand or to really enter in the path of spiritual life. There is one of his teachings about the association of Vaishnavas. Then he said that it's very impossible to serve Krishna without receiving the mercy of the great souls. And then in this way, it's very important to take shelter of this bona fide spiritual master. And he quotes the Chaitanya Charitamrita in this verse that says that Mahakripa Vinakon Karma Bhakti Nai Krishna Bhakti Duri Raho Samsari Nai Shai. Unless one person is favored by a pure devotee, one cannot enter or attain the platform of spiritual service or devotional service. To say nothing of Krishna Bhakti, we even cannot be relieved from the bondage of material existence. Then it is establishing that unless we take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, it is impossible to enter, as he said in this sloka of Guru Astakam. He said, only by the mercy of Shri Guru one can attain the mercy of the Lord and can be under the shelter of the Lord. Because it's impossible, as we hear many times from the Guru and Vaishnavas, it's impossible to attain the mercy of the Lord without attain the mercy of the servant of the Lord. Because how can I serve the Lord without this shelter of the servant? Then, because the tendency explains that the tendency of the living entity is to do even the spiritual things in the spirit of enjoyment, because I have this tendency to enjoy everything I do, even in the spiritual things I do. I enjoy the kirtan, I enjoy this or that, because I have this tendency. And the bona fide spiritual master, he come to make me free from my tendency to enjoy and acquire the tendencies, Krishna Sevan Mukha Vida, servant. And then unless I acquire this or awake this tendency to serve, that is my natural tendency, I can serve the Lord. In this way, I also remembering that even Srila Raghunath Das Goswami also is teaching one of his, he repeatedly is telling us that he also said there is one of his verses in Manakshiksha also, he said that these enemies that I have continuously harassing me, lust, anger, greed, and so on, they are like robbers who catch me and assault me and keeping me, pushing me in their own ways. But how can I be free from that? And then he says that if I approach these great souls who are the worshippers of the Lord, who is the killer of the Baka demon, they can free me, they can help me to be free from this condition that I am a prisoner. Further on, he explains that when one person is free from many tendencies, but he said many, because in the part of the spiritual life, if I understand, we are overcoming different things, but many things are there. I realize by myself how every time I'm thinking I overcoming something, I see myself completely in bondage of the same situation with the next day. And then because this tendency in myself is there, then I remember that he says that when we really, from the core of the heart, we call these commanders of the army of Sriman Mahaprabhu, that I understand is my Guru Varga, they are my protectors, then they can at once free me from these gross and subtle things like these enemies, and also the subtle things like my desire to be or famous or have some importance in this material world. Then he's showing that unless I can take shelter of these Mahajans or Mahapurushas or great personalities, it is impossible to enter in the transcendental process that Sriman Mahaprabhu came to give, as Sripad Brajana Prabhu was quoting. Yeah? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give this, to test the love of Braj, to understand the love of Srimati Radhika, and to expand her glories. And at the same time, he came to give service to that sublime love, and then to enter in that conception and to understand that conception. I completely depend of the mercy of our Guru Varga, who mercifully are continuously present, distributing their treasure that they are carrying in their hearts. That I offer my Dandavash Pranam to all of you. And I'm finished here. Vanchakalpatra Vyashaki Pasindhi Shapatitanam Pavanavi Vaishnavi.
Thank you very much, Didi. That's very concise, very nice, making references to the other statements to bind it all together for us. Thank you, thank you. Now we will shift over to Kamala Didi and have her speak for 5 or 6 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. Omagana Timiranda Sagananjana Salakaya Chakuramilitam Jina Tasmai Shri Guru Venamaha. So I don't want to take so much time because 5 minutes is definitely enough for me. I know Shamarani Didi could speak a very long time, and it's actually wonderful to hear so like the Ganga flowing of verses and authority. And I think it's inspired me that I need to learn a lot more Siddhanta to explain to people, because it's so powerful hearing their words. What I get a lot from the Gaudiya Kantahara is that how these verses are compiled it's really fascinating for me, because the Shastra is really speaking to the Jiva, and he's saying, look, if you want to know the absolute truth, then you must go and get a spiritual master. And then it gets stronger, and he's saying, look, if you want to know what is the absolute truth, go, you have to get a guru, wake up, take advantage of the human life. Now you're a human, go and get a guru. And then it's like, look, just like your head's on fire, go and run to that place to put that out the fire in any available water. In the same way, then you should run towards Sri Guru and take initiation. And then that's wonderful. But then as a Badajiva, you're kind of sat thinking, well, I still don't feel that. And so the Shastra is then explaining to me, like, well, why you don't feel like that is because you are part and parcel of the Lord, but you've forgotten. You've been in Maya, completely drowned in your false understanding of who you are. In fact, Jivara Swarupa Hoy Krishna Nichadat, you're an eternal servant of Krishna. But you're from the Tatashta region, but you have come into Maya, you've forgotten. And then he starts to explain to us, or to me, that this is because of your desires, then you're locked in this cycle, samsara. And sometimes you become a queen, sometimes a demigod, sometimes you're in the hellish planet, sometimes you're an insect. All these different bodies you're taking, you're becoming more and more and more covered. And so therefore, this is the reason why you don't have this desire. But it's like the Shastra itself is giving me the desire. Go, go. And it kind of speaks very deeply and awakens something that brings a sincere desire through from that covering, all those coverings, to think, yes, I do want to know what the absolute truth is. And then from there on, then Krishna starts arranging Brahmanda Brahmiti Kom Bhagavan Jiva. Is like, yes, you have been wandering unlimitedly and through the universes, but now your very rare chance that you've come across a bona fide spiritual master. And why that is I think because of that sincere desire. That would be a question for me. Where does that sincere desire come from? Yeah. I know I'm supposed to be on the panel, but secretly I just came here to have the association of the other panelists and yourself, Maharaj, and pop in a question. I mean, I believe that if you're insincere, it's arranged for you that you get well, not an insincere, but maybe a bogus guru. And if you're sincere, then that arrangement comes that you can meet a bona fide spiritual master. So it's like an awakening of wanting to have this sincere desire and to keep it running through the life. that you can always get that association, which is speaking alongside the Shastra and keeping you awake, like it says in that verse, wake up, keeping you awake so that you actually grasp that sadhusanga when it's available to you. So I think in this Gaudiya tradition, it's very absolute, and and it's very wonderful how it's all given to us. It's very complete. So I think that's why I was attracted. Thank you. Okay, that's my time.
Yes, thank you very much. Very concise and a little bit different way of presenting the same thing. So just in very brief summary of these 3 points, and then we'll go on to the next. We heard from all the speakers that in order to understand the first question, the importance, we have to understand what is the Gaudiya tradition. And that was explained nicely, coming from Mahaprabhu and what Mahaprabhu did as a teacher, and how he exemplified the perfect servant teacher, servant leader, experiencing the moods of devotion, and then the means of understanding what that Gaudiya tradition is by study of scripture and by reference to those great souls who are aligned and follow perfectly Mahaprabhu. And by association and relationship with them, the inspiration to take up this path and being guided into what it means to have a personal relationship with Krishna by first developing a personal relationship with Sri Guru by their beautiful example. So I don't want to go on any longer because we want to keep this moving. As I said, we're learning here. So now we're going to do the second question, and we'll start with Shamrani Didi. She can read that question, and then we'll go on. And I think if everyone keeps to about 5 or 6 minutes, we'll be okay. So
the question is, what qualities do we want to look for in a bona fide guru? And how can the sincere seeker be sure if it's the right guru? So I think the key word here is sincere. And what is the meaning of sincere in terms of being sure that I have the right guru? So Kamala just gave a little introduction to that idea of sincere. There's 2 kinds of sanskars. One is called, or impressions on the heart, put there by previous activities. So one is called praktan sanskar, which means very old, from previous births, many previous births. And when I have those impressions, then it's easy to find a good guru and easy to follow him. The other kind of sanskar is called adunika sanskar, which is I don't have very many from the past. I do have a lot of offenses and sins, but I don't have that many good impressions. My good impressions are new, and therefore it's going to be harder for me to pick the right guru. And even if I picked one, it's going to be harder for me to follow him. So be that as it may, if I'm not sincere in that way, it's all relative, then I may judge something to be the good symptoms when it's not really good symptoms. For example, I may judge that someone has the qualifications of a guru, but because of my lack of good sanskars, I may see those good qualities in somebody who doesn't have them, and then I'll be looking for to drink cow's milk from the donkey, which is not possible. It is more easy to understand what to not look for in a guru, and that is, as quoted from the Mahabharata by Srila Jiva Goswami, Gurur apyavaliptasya That is, he doesn't know what to do and what not to do. And this is the easy one. If I have good sanskars, he's very offensive and blasphemous to pure devotees. And then those who don't have good sanskars will think, well, I think I remember reading a translation in the scriptures which says, oh, if I see these bad symptoms in my guru, then wait a while for him to change. And when someone offered that so-called translation to Gurudev, he said, no, bogus. Srila Jiva Goswami said one must, in his Bhagavad Bhakti Sandarbha, that one must immediately abandon such a bogus guru and find a bona fide one. Then, as quoted in the Gaudiya Kantahar, because I think that's our focal point. I mean, it is our focal point for this every panel, as introduced by Nityananda Prabhu. Tad Vigyanartam Gurum Evam Vigyachet. So if one wants to know the absolute truth, then he must find a bona fide guru and give him offerings for the sacrifices that he's performing. So in this age of Kali, of course, it doesn't mean so much the fire juggas or the horse sacrifices as it means Harinam Sankirtan Jagya. So what is the qualification that the aspiring disciple wants to look for? He's fixed in the absolute truth. That means he's realizing what he says. He's detached from material sense gratification. And because he knows all the Vedic literatures, he's able to answer all the doubts of the disciple. And another thing that we want to avoid when we're looking is a Vaishnava Mukadgirnam. Milk, don't surrender to a non-Vaishnava who doesn't have the Vaishnava qualities, because then it's like taking milk, which is very sweet and nourishing, but it's like taking milk from the lips of the serpent, and that causes obviously poisonous effects. Then we learn that even if one has a Kanistha guru who's going to blaspheme devotees, then one should immediately reject him and look for and pray and weep. That's another result of sincerity, that one is actually sincerely weeping to Krishna to help me find one, because I don't have the qualities to find one, but he comes to my door. So if one has a Madhyam guru who's really sincere, then don't reject him, but respect him and pray to him. I found an Uttama Mahabhagavad. Is it right if I associate with him? And if he's really a Madhyamadikari, he says, really, where is he? I'll follow you right there to him. Also, the qualities of a bona fide guru are very difficult for one who's not on an advanced level to appreciate. That is, don't envy the guru, that is acharyam vijnaniyam. Don't consider that he has any faults. Don't think that he's a mortal being, because he has the potency of all the demigods. How am I to know? I won't even tell you the list of people that I thought were pure devotees until XYZ happened. So it all depends really on mercy. But as Srila Gurudev said, one who's on the level of the guru, he can understand the meanings of what the guru is saying. So I once asked Srila Gurudev, I recognize that you have the qualities of a Uttama Adhikari. So then Gurudev said, oh, you know that you are qualified to see the qualities of someone else, of an Uttama Adhikari. So I said, well, you appear to have them. So he said, you don't even know for sure that your Srila Prabhupada is an Uttama Adhikari, because until you come to that level, at least of Madhyama, you can't see. Fortunately, by the mercy, so many sanskars Brahmanda Bhumite Konya Bandivana Jiv, for us who've accepted pure devotees without the qualification to know, that is totally Krishna's mercy as he appeared in the form of the Guru from previous sanskars and sukritis. Or regarding previous sanskars and sukritis, there's that beautiful verse, Bhaktistu Bhagavata Bhakti Sangena Parijayate Sat Sangha Labhyate Punbir Sukritai Purva Sanskritai. After many, many millions of births of spiritual pious merits, one gets the association of the pure devotee. And by such association, he gets pure bhakti. And I've come to my 5-minute mark, so I'm going to end here.
Yeah, I'm having some doubt about our format. I'm liking it. On the other hand, I can feel the struggle of the speakers that there's so much to say and it doesn't seem like there's enough time to say it. Still, we're getting beautiful nuggets. So, and I'm taking notes. So thank you very much. Now we'll hear from Brajanath Prabhu. Please continue. Please unmute, Brajanath.
Thank you, Maharaj, for again requesting this wretched person to contribute something. And thank you, Shamarani Didi, for trying to put everything in 5 minutes. Yeah. Guru Tattva is unlimited. It is the backbone of bhakti. Srila Gurudev again and again emphasizes this beautiful point. Now I want to just, I don't know whether it is a, how you call it? Maras is leaving the room. Oh, he's back. Oh, a tantrum or something, huh? A tantrum? You throw something in the audience or in the room. So this is coming from Gurudev himself. And the question is now that there is a sincere disciple or a sincere seeker. And how can they know that they found the right guru? And what qualities should one look for in a bona fide guru? Yeah, and Shamanadiri already mentioned that who is capable of seeing who is a qualified guru? Yeah, who's capable of understanding the qualities? One must himself be at least on the level of a Vaishnava or a Madhyama devotee. Yeah, and where are we? Where am I? So Gurudev is giving himself a very beautiful, I would say, a tantrum, yeah, to throw in. He's telling, do we strongly believe that Gurudev is the representative of direct manifestation of Sri Krishna? Sakshadharit Vena Samastra Sastra. He's telling, you can ask yourself in your own heart, do you really believe that? Then Gurudev give himself an answer, his answer. I think it is very rare to find a person with such faith. Here Gurudev is mentioning that faith is actually the requisitive to enter sincerity or to enter into a relationship with Sri Krishna by taking the shelter of Sri Guru and Vaishnavas. If no faith is there, then it is repeated again and again. To help or to try to instruct someone who has no faith is detrimental for my own bhakti. So a real guru is an ideal servant and will never worry, yeah, for those who have no faith. And even whether they will, I think, have official initiation, even that I personally have heard from Gurudev that I asked him, why are we giving initiation so quickly? He said, I'm not giving initiation, he says. Initiation is not such a cheap thing. Yeah. It can only be transmitted. Yeah. When we progress in bhakti, then real initiation starts taking place. So what is that progress? It is the development of faith. So again, going back to what Sri Gurudev is telling, I think Gurudev said that maybe 1 or 2 persons have belief that Sri Gurudev is directly the manifestation of Sri Krishna's mercy. Yeah. He's telling many persons are vastly learned in the scriptures, like Srimad Bhagavatam, Vedanta and Puranas and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And they can repeat all the verses. Gurudev telling us, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Vedanta, Puranas, they can repeat all the verses. Why do they disobey their Gurudev? Gurudev is telling this himself. And give him up. Yeah. We should think carefully about this. Who is the ideal servant of Sri Guru? And what does Gurudev give? So we can all think about that. Yeah. If one really wants to, take shelter with Sri Guru, knowing that he is non-different from Sri Krishna, we need to first develop faith in the scriptures. Very carefully. If any faith is there, any belief is there that I want to obtain the love for Sri Krishna, that is the beginning of our relationship with Sri Krishna. Then hearing about Sri Krishna, hearing about how we can obtain him, how we can approach him, then the principle of Sri Guru becomes crystal clear. And where can we find that? In the scriptures. And how can we appreciate the scriptures? By taking shelter of those who have the ideal understanding of the scriptures. So our ideal teachers, which nobody has to doubt about, is the previous acharyas, especially Srila Rupa Goswami Pad, who is telling that if you want pure bhakti, then sato vrite, follow the previous acharyas. Try to understand their glories. Try to understand their qualities. Try to understand their heart's desire. And then we come automatically to that which is the Manobishta of Sri Sachinandana Gaura Hari, which is perfectly and ideally presented by Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. So learning, hearing, studying, discussing the scriptures will cultivate, which will manifest a deeper and stronger faith. And then at that time, we can actually have full faith that Sri Guru is the direct manifestation of the mercy of Sri Krishna. By his mercy, I can receive the mercy of Krishna. Without his grace, I cannot make any advancements, what to speak of being delivered. Therefore, I should meditate always upon the glories of Sri Gurudev, at least 3 times a day, and always reciting, what means that? Prayers unto his lotus feet. How can I recite those prayers? Again and again, we take the shelter of the previous acharyas. How Srila Narottam Das Thakur is glorifying Srila Rupa Goswami Pad, Sri Rupa Manjari Pada, Sei More Sampada, Sei More Bhajana Pujan. How we hear from Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Without bhajan, Bimala Vaishnava, Rati Upadiva, Vasana Ho Yebakin. Without the attraction to the pure Vaishnava, there is no question that my material impediments will disappear. Rather, they will always create obstacles. So again and again, these prayers, they are uttered by the sincere student in spiritual life. And then we enter the realm of bhajan. And then when we enter the realm of bhajan, we will come to understand that our Gurudev is not an ordinary person. Rather, he is directly the manifestation of Sri Krishna's mercy. And not only that, he has arranged my all situations in life in such a way that I can take more shelter at his lotus feet. And here we see that Srila Gurudev is, again, making a very important point, that simply accepting a Diksha Guru will never allow us to progress in spiritual advancement. If only we accept a Diksha Guru, we will not progress in spiritual advancement. Why? We pray every day, Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Pada Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Sya Sirupam Sagrayatam Sahagana Ragunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Saadvaitam Saavadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitam Stya. Here the beautiful prayer is, which we recite, by the way, every day. I hope if we want to connect really in the realm of practicing, then this prayer is so helpful. Though we offer pranam on the lotus feet, to the lotus feet of Sri Gurudev, which include Diksha and Bhajan Siksha Guru. This is presented in Gurudev's beautiful expression. Not only Gurudev, but also our entire disciplic succession. I offer my Dandavat Pranams. And all other Vaishnavas. To Sri Rupa Goswami, his elder brother Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunadas Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and their associates. To Advaita Acharya Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his associates. And to the lotus feet of Sri Radha and Krishna, accompanied by Sri Lalita and Vishaka and all their other Sakis. So Guru Tattva is very, very broad. Yeah, it is not only one person, it is a complete manifestation of Krishna's mercy in the form of all Vaishnavas, all spiritual acharyas. And we can connect with them. And especially we can follow their ideal example, how they practice bhajan. Srila Gurudev himself said, if any one of my disciples hears from any Vaishnava, even that Vaishnava may not be high class, but they feel inspiration by hearing from that Vaishnava or Vaishnavi. I am indebted to that Vaishnava or Vaishnavi, Gurudev said. Why? Because they help this living entity to make progress on their journey towards spiritual perfection. I think my 5 minutes are over. I don't know what happened with our moderator.
Thank you very much, Rajana Prabhu, for speaking. So before we go to the next person, just wanted to extend a big thanks to Shamarani Didi for participating, and we understand that now she has to leave the meeting because she has some other responsibilities to attend to. So thank you very much, Didi, for participating, and we're looking forward to getting more of your inspiration and guidance throughout these events. So please, everybody, say thank to Didi. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you very much for allowing to participate in this wonderful program. And here this Harikata. Very nice.
So yeah, now if we could get some answer from Tirthaniri Didi, please, just the same question about Guru. What qualities one must look for in a bona fide Guru, and how can a sincere seeker be sure they have found the right Guru for them?
Oh, I was thinking you were, sorry, yeah. I was thinking you were finishing the meeting. Look, I just remember just Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his beautiful poem, Ohe Vaishnava Thakura. He said, he said, I feel like I'm alone. I'm doing Hari Kirtan, but I don't see any results. Then I pray for your mercy to really see the results of my Hari Kirtan or my practices. Then I understand that he's showing me that I need my spiritual master to bless my mind, to bless me with the spiritual intelligence for the practice of the spiritual life. Because without his mercy, I can, as I think Shamanidi was telling, we can, or Gurudev was answering here, that we can learn all the mantras, all the philosophy by memory can recite, but without the mercy of Shri Guru, all this is only a knowledge that not give the real results. Srila Narottam Thakur says that because Vaishnava, he has the Lord residing in his heart, then he can free me from all my anarthas. Then means I want his presence in my life, because I want to be clear, to clear my path. And then because they come and they clear my path with their spiritual potency. I hear that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said that the spiritual master, he comes with the sword in hands and he cuts all the unwanted things from the heart of the disciple, and allowing the disciple in that way to really start the path of bhakti. Then with this expectation, as Srila, I think it's Vaishnava Bantam, he said, I hear that the Vedas and Purans, that the Vaishnavas, they can deliver the whole world, and they're not expecting to be delivered by them. Then I come to them because I hear their glories. I hear that, okay, they come with the sword. I don't know if I am ready for this operation. That is not easy. It's a very hard thing. But I hope that by their mercy, they can give me strength to tolerate their operation, their constant, because they constant try to take me out, but I jump inside of the black or dark well, because I am so accustomed and attracted to that place. And then it's my expectation, my hope, that they can take me out, because it is said also, Srila Narottam Thakur, he explains that the Lord himself, he said that the Vaishnavas and his heart, they are in the heart of the Vaishnavas, and the Vaishnavas are in his heart, because this deep relationship, because they have in between them, then this is as a follower, as a disciple, I expect that they can give me this qualification that one day Lord Govinda come and also take possession of the asana in my heart. By their mercy, they can do that. As I understand this, because it is a what can I expect from the spiritual master? Everything. I am waiting from them. I have nothing. And then because I am empty hands and my heart is empty, then I am expecting them to fill my heart, my mind, my whole being with their mercy. And then I can be successful in the life. That is, I think it's okay. Panchakalpatarvesha.
Well, thank you, Didi. We're back again. Technical difficulties. So we'll finish up this question with hearing from Kamala Didi. Ready?
Ready or not? Yeah, I've got this in my mind now, because I'm understanding that it's about Sukriti and Samskar, then you'll come to a bona fide or a bona fide guru. It's not that you can understand that. It's not because he's in a certain caste. It's not because he's of a certain intelligence or he knows all the Shastra. It's something deeper than that. It's he is practicing, he is preaching, he is the embodiment of all these Vaishnava qualities, and most of all, he's surrendered. But it's not something that we can see unless we are also on the same qualification. So Shamarandi was saying that that's to do with our samskar. I'm kind of interested in this topic of sincerity, because we can see also that certain personalities, they didn't have that level of guru, a Rasik Vaishnav guru, like for instance Bali Maharaj, his guru was Sukracharya. But if it wasn't for his guru pushing him in the opposite direction, really, then and this divine arrangement that he was with Bamandev, and he actually pushed through it and surrendered, even though he didn't have a bona fide guru. His guru is a guru of the demons. I'm just wondering, is that why? I mean, why is that? Is that because of his samskar that he surrendered in that way? And also, I'm just thinking about Koch, because Koch, he went to learn also from Sukracharya, even though he was the son of Brihaspati. And he learned so much. He was very, very sincere, and because of that, he imparted all knowledge into him. He's very, very dear to Sukracharya. So it's also it's a very interesting topic, this Guru Tattva. It's not cut and dry. It's not like, okay, I've got Sukriti, I'm going to get this guru, and then I'm going to get this. It seems to be a lot more based on the sincerity of the disciple. Actually, it does speak about that, isn't it? In the verse, it says that a person who it's difficult. It doesn't really want to hear about spiritual knowledge, hasn't got very much interest in it, but still, you know, that guru, it's even harder. It's harder to find a disciple than it is the guru. It's difficult to find that guru, but the disciple, you know, the sincere seeker, that even if he's worshipping the blade of grass, then somehow it's this reciprocation is coming through that sincerity, and arrangements are made for the benefit of that person. So it's very merciful, this path. Whether it's of importance that I know who is a bona fide guru or not, I'm suggesting not so much important. You can't really change it anyway, your adhikar. But I think what is important is being sincere and having that sincerity to keep going, and all arrangements will be made. Maybe you do have to fall down, maybe you do have to level your pride, maybe there's many operations that might be there that apparently may look externally, oh, that person didn't come to a bona fide guru, but I don't think it's wise to judge. I think that it's the divine arrangement of the Lord for that sincere seeker to attain the utmost benefit. So that's what I'd like to speak about regarding this question of how to know if a guru is bona fide or not. Thank you.
So I missed a bit. I missed a bit because I was cut off by mistake, but I'm going to make an executive decision here because we've kind of gone beyond the time limit that we'd originally agreed on or was trying to work with. And Shamarani has made some remarks about that. But, you know, we're working on this. This is a format we're experimenting with. But we have one more question, but we're drifting into the area now, even before that question, of how does a disciple actually develop discrimination? Aside from recognizing the qualities of Guru, how do we really know Guru? How do we progress? So because we've run out of time, I'm going to ask that we just have Brajanath Prabhu begin this third question and be the speaker only, give him about 10 minutes. And then after this, we'll reassess how we did, because it's our first time. And do we want to review these in a month? Do we want to change our format? Is this working? Is it not working? But I definitely don't want to leave these ends untied. So I'd like Brajanath Prabhu to speak maybe for about 10 minutes on this next topic. And then we'll stop after that. And I think Yashodanandan had some things that he would like to say. So we'll go straight to Brajanath Prabhu. Is he still here? Is Brajanath, was he able to stay with us? Late in India.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Okay. So if that's okay. Because originally it was just going to be an hour. But it's been more than that. So Brajanath, are you there?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay.
At your service.
Yeah. So, maybe speak another 10 minutes, kind of tie everything together, and we'll leave a platform for how we're going to take this up next time. I think we did a good job. I think we can do better. I think we put some obstacles in the way of our speakers. So I'd like you to tie this together as best you can.
Okay. Yeah, it is a great mystery, Krishna consciousness, or how to come closer to Sri Krishna. Even Krishna is constantly perturbed or fascinated or astonished how he interacts with his guru. Yeah. For those of you who may not be familiar, that everyone needs guru. Yeah. Even Krishna. Why? Because there is something that is the essence of the very creation or the very existence that we experience, and that is pure love. And all need to learn more about that topic. And all the knowledge that we receive through the scriptures, if that doesn't lead to developing divine love, it's all useless. So the third question or topic, that how does Sri Guru, here again I want to translate Sri Guru into the, how does the Kripa of Sri Krishna manifest to help a sincere seeker, a disciple, a student, to develop the ability to discriminate in order to properly understand spiritual knowledge. Srila Prabhupada, he made a very clear statement when he arrived in America. And then the reporters asked him, Swamiji, what is your mission? Yeah. Then he chuckled. And he said, my desire is that the whole world will be happy in Krishna consciousness. Yeah. That was his heart's desire, and that is what we should. I personally, am very much focusing upon that quality, that what makes me happy, meaning that what is it that genuinely nourishes the innermost cravings of my heart. Yeah. And how is that flow recognized? It means that when we are happy to be with devotees, when we are happy to be with the service that we have received, the orders that Sri Gurudev is, the scriptures, the Vaishnavas, they are kindly reminding us about, that our order is, our sacred divine identity, being in this world as a Bada Jiva, is to enter the process of bhajan by practicing sadhan and bhajan in the anugatya of Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, who are taken shelter of Sri Guru Pada Padma, that is Sri Rupa, Sri Raghunath, our Guru Parampara, and who are mercifully nourished by their own capacity and their own attraction to always be in the guidance of Sri Gurudev. So how does Gurudev help the disciple? How does the Kripa of Sri Krishna manifest? When any Vaishnava or Vaishnavi comes to us and is very kind and compassionate to us, who is very much trusting us and not judging us, who doesn't have, so many like instructions waiting for us, don't do this, don't do that, and don't. Yeah, but actually someone who accepts us as we are, yeah, and who is very kind to us. That is my personal experience, yeah. That although I was in different situations in association of Vaishnavas, yeah, and aspiring Vaishnavas from the early 80s, the late 70s, my best memories are when I remember the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who were just very kind to me. And some of them, I have not seen them around, or I know that they are not practicing as they used to practice in the institution, getting up at 4 o'clock, taking a cold shower, and Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, going to the 16 rounds, and the whole day filled with the practice, how to remember Krishna. But I always remember their kindness, and that is what made me stay around in the association of devotees. And that also led me to come to the lotus feet of Sri Guru Padma, who was so kind and who also is kind to all living entities. They are such great Mahapurushas. They can accommodate everyone. But any sincere Vaishnava or Vaishnavi who is kind to us, then it says in Jajaiva Dharma, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, then our spiritual life, yeah, has really become successful. When we become attracted to be with anyone who is very kind and compassionate, who doesn't judge us, who doesn't, yeah, have any difficulties accommodating us. Yeah, I remember even Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who was asked by his devotees, how do we attract people when we go out on book distribution and we meet such nice people? Then Srila Prabhupada replied, this was to Mula Prakriti, who is a very famous and staunch and beautiful Vaishnavi. And she received Prabhupada's reply. Prabhupada said, you just tell them, come with me and stay with me for a few days. Yeah, and then your life will be changed. So that is the way that Sri Guru Padma is helping the sincere seekers, yeah, to develop the faculty of discrimination. Why? What is that discrimination? What is the proper understanding of spiritual knowledge? It is that we feel, I have come home. I have come home in the family of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I am appreciated here. I am welcome here, despite all my shortcomings. They do not judge me. They actually respect me, and they kindly engage me in some menial services. Yeah. And they like me to stay with them. Yeah, they don't even have any idea of sending me away. Yeah. Srila Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj said, never ever send anyone away from the premises. Yeah, once they come in the association of devotees, we should nourish them, keep them with us, and accept them as our family members. Even Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, one day he was invited to install the deities in a new temple, and he traveled there, and he arrived at the place and he asked, where is this one devotee, yeah, who used to be here? Where is he? They said, oh, he has gone, Srila Prabhupada. Gone? Why? Oh, something happened to him. And then what happened to him? Well, he was weak, and then everyone started to criticize him, and he left. Then Prabhupada said, I'm not going to do any functions here until and unless the devotee comes back. So they found out where he was. He was in some shop working, and they went over to the shop and told him, Prabhupada wants to see you. And he's not going to do anything unless he meets with you again. And the devotee felt his heart melting. Yeah, such a kind, yeah, Vaishnava who deeply cares for me, who knows my position, how much fallen I am. And I remember the same experience with Srila Gurudev. Yeah, how he accepted a wretched person like me and told me, you now, yeah, are concerned about only one thing, that always stay with me. Try to be with me in any circumstances. Never ever think about anything else. So Gurudev says in the opposite, yeah, the same instruction he teaches to all of us. Once we meet such a generous, such a kind-hearted Vaishnava or Vaishnavi, who is so much concerned for our spiritual well-being, then the first obligation or responsibility is how to respond to such a beautiful association. Never ever leave that association of that personality. In the Jaiva Dharma, in the first chapter, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, when any great saintly person obtains the attraction to be with the Vaishnavas, then the Vaishnava says, please, great soul, yeah, stay with me for a few days. Then the reply of that saintly person is, what to speak of a few days? I will stay with you for the rest of my life. Yeah. This is the beauty of the relationship between the mercy of Sri Krishna, which manifests in the form of Sri Guru Padma, yeah, which is the, not only, yeah, it is the family of Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, wherein we feel at home. Why did we feel so much attraction to be with Srila Gurudev? Because he had a home where we felt welcome. Why did we become attracted to Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada? Because he had a home in which everyone felt welcome. Yeah? Where there was no one, even Prabhupada made a system that if anyone wanted to leave, he would have the ISKCON bullets ready at the counter of the entry. That, oh, you want to go, then before you go, please take one gulab jamun or 2 or 3 or 4, and then you will not want to leave anymore. This is our great gift. This is also our discrimination. Why Krishna doesn't want to leave Vrindavan? He never leaves even one step outside. Why? Because there he receives the most love and affection. So by love and affection, Sri Gurudev nourishes. The Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis nourishes any beautiful soul, and not only the beautiful new souls, but also the existing souls. Yeah, we should not think, oh, now let us make more devotees. Now let us first nourish our own family members and be happy with them, and don't try to find any reason why we should have no time to be with each other, but be with each other, nourish each other, and put Sri Guru Padma in the center. Yeah, because really this is where everything starts, begins, continues, yeah, and ultimately ends up when we are embracing the kindness and the mercy of Sri Guru, which manifests, yeah, in all these great personalities, and they will protect us. Yeah, Sri Guru Padma, the Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavis, especially Sri Rupa Goswami and his followers. Yeah. They who know the heart of Sri Satyananda Gaura Hari. What is the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Mano Bhishtam, that everyone join in the festival of Parama Ananda, the festival of transcendental love. As Gurudev stated, many a time, and all great Vaishnavas conclude and support this beautiful definition of God, which is the essence of all transcendental knowledge. Yeah, that God is love, love is God. Yeah. So I conclude whatever I wanted to speak. It came out in a way that I am very happy that I can share these beautiful impressions and conceptions with all of you. I thank you for your patience also. And whatever, Maharaj, you are moderating, please, yeah, open the floor for any beautiful comments and, yeah, observations from the audience.
Well, in this, I'm taking some guidance from Nityananda and Taruni, how this first one was going to be set, and they were going to collect any comments or questions, and I think get them ready for the next time. I'm not exactly sure. And they wanted to leave some time for Yashoda, because he's kind of like the godfather of these Zoom conferences. He got this rolling a couple of years ago during the pandemic, and they were following his inspiration. I think in many ways you touched on the binding factor, the essence of everything that we're talking about. When your concluding words, they actually echoed Gurudev's own words when he was first touring many places. He said that exact same thing. If you want to understand our philosophy, love is God and God is love. And regarding your point about how Guru gives his mercy, we always think we have to be in the presence of Guru directly. But Guru's in our heart, but he's also in the hearts of those who he's inspired. And when we had a program last night, I asked one devotee there how he came, what inspired him, and he said that he had met the devotees at a program at one university in Maryland, and when he saw the way they were relating with each other, this is like 1976, and he saw that they were relating to each other with so much natural affection and love and authenticity, this really attracted him, the quality of the Vaishnava dealings. And I remember you told me years and years ago, your first encounter with the devotee, you had a long talk with them and you felt this person is really happy. I want to have what this person has. So Guru's mercy comes also in our recognition of the mercy that he's given to others. And if we can adopt this mood of love and affection, not just to the person of Guru, but to those who he's also inspired, and just like Guru manifests perfectly and fully this mood of servant, not just to Mahaprabhu, not just to his own Guru, but he's also the servant of his own disciples. He's sacrificed and given himself to his disciples in every way. And if Guru is doing that, then how can we do any less? If you really want to please Guru, you please those who are trying to serve him. And that's what we're trying to revive, I believe, and establish a community of devotees with that broad mood of service to Guru, but also to those who are the beloved. So thank you. All you devotees brought those points up. I appreciate it very much. Did Yashoda Prabhu want to say something? Where is he? He's there, sort of. Maybe he's not there. Maybe he's
Sorry, guys, I wasn't told I was going to speak at all, and I'm on a phone call right now, and there was no timing whatsoever, so I'm engaged in a phone call right now. So just
well, we just want to get your input, but that's all right. We'll talk to you another time. We are kind of babies in this, you know. Nityananda Prabhu asked me to participate a little bit. I'm trying. We'd like to build this into something more, especially this first subject matter, which can be explored significantly more with Guru Tattva. We're going to go back to the drawing board, discuss what was good, what worked, what didn't. And so please be on the lookout for more notices. But I think we want to thank everybody. We want to thank Kamala Didi. We want to thank Tattva Nidhi Didi, Rajnath Prabhu, Shamarani for their input and very valuable contribution. And Nityananda Prabhu and Taruni Didi for putting a lot of work into getting this together. And we hope that we can go forward with this. And anyone who has a question or a suggestion, we request you put it in the comment section so that they can analyze it and get back to it. And so we can see how to make this more interactive, more improved, as more of a service to the Vaishnava community. So with that, thank you very much. If Nityananda Taruni want to close out in any way,
Yeah.
ready? Not okay.
So we want to invite everybody, please join. We have different groups, especially the Facebook one, where you can come and comment, give feedback, participate, help us create something way better for the benefit of all the community at large. And again, to thank all the participants for their time, valuable time, their insights, exposing their own hearts for the benefit of us. So thank you so much for that. And we will finish with one mantra kirtan, a small one. But if anybody needs to go, it's like now's the time.
I'd also like to say thank you so much, everybody who's joined. You know, both here on Zoom and also on Facebook, and anybody watching the recording. You know, you really are making the program here, so you know, thank you. And yeah, like we've said, you know, do get engaged, do let us know feedback, questions, so that we can develop this for the future. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Mahamanja?
Yes. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Jaya
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaurabhakta
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya
Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Rupanuga Guru Parampara
Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Guru Parampara
Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Oh Hari Bol Gaura Hari
Hari Hari Hari
Nitai Gaura Brahmanandi Hari Hari So thank you everybody, and we have Yashodananda Prabhu here. So
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, out of all Dandava pranams, as timing would have it, I had no idea you were going to call on me, and I had a scheduled 4 o'clock call. I had no idea it was going on 2 hours. And just when Maharaji, typical Vaikanas Maharaj, he's like the court jester. He would pick on me just when my call was happening. That's so you, Maharaj. Oh yeah. I do have a comment though. I do have a comment. It was really beautiful. The mood was fantastic. But I have personally, and this may just be me, but when Nityananda and Taruni came up with this idea, and I love the whole story about the railway worker and how he was eager to hear all the Qatar of Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Prabhupada. I'm really greedy for this book. I don't want to attend this program as a passive listener. I want the book, and I want to study the book, and I want to come prepared with questions. That's where I want to go. So it's like, where do I get this book from? I want to study it. I want to come bursting with questions, and I want to go deeper. I think that's what this session's about. So that's my encouragement to you: is can you help me do that? I mean, I can get stuff from Rasa Bahari usually within 3 days. I think anyone attending this needs to have the book and to be studying in advance and go deeper. So we're a cohort of greedy bhaktas.
Yes, we're sharing the book right now. We have the first chapter, which is the one we're focusing on for this first meeting, and the following ones.
Where is it?
The book, we already shared it on the chat here. We will share it on the Facebook group,
which chat? I'm
on
totally
the WhatsApp group,
confused.
on the Telegram group. And if nobody gets it that way, then you can also ask email. That way we can also forward you in an email.
So just clarify to me something. Who's translated into English then?
These are just slokas. They don't need translations. So these are translations from BBT.
From Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. They took his they found where he translated the verses, and then they're
Oh, and
using those
you've got hold of that
translations.
somehow, have you?
Yeah.
So
What?
my problem is I'm not plugged into Telegram as well. Is there a Telegram?
We'll share on WhatsApp and
On
Facebook
Facebook
as
as well.
well.
Oh, so you haven't
And I'll
shared.
send to
You're
you.
going to
I'll
share.
send to you directly on WhatsApp. You
Yeah.
showed it also. Okay.
Okay.
But yes,
No, I'm
we
happy
didn't want
to
to
be on
get
a group.
people. Yes, we
Are
didn't
you
want to have
talking
people.
historic or are you talking in the future? Have you done this or you're going to do this?
We were gonna do it right after the program.
Yeah, because
But
we
you
didn't
haven't
want
done it.
people, to
We
get
put it in the
confused.
chat on the Zoom chat. It's been posted, but we're gonna put
Right.
it in the WhatsApp and the Facebook and the Telegram right after this
Okay,
finishes.
great. That makes a big difference. And so there are 19 tattvas, and how many shlokas are there in total?
Oh, don't remember the number of slokas, but
There's like
it's
50
massive.
in the first
It's
chapter,
a
I
fat
think.
book.
It
Okay.
said one place over 1,000.
Yashoda Prabhu, you already have this. Go to our cardboard box and on WhatsApp.
Cardboard box. Oh, wow. Okay.
And I'll also post it directly to you. And I actually have the book because this is what we talked about in April 21.
My memory doesn't go back to yesterday, let alone April 21.
I will show you
Okay.
the
All
book.
right, great. And this gentleman went round traveling with Jagat Guru. Did he take notes of the lectures as well? Are they available, or is it just the purports? Sorry,
The
just
one that's
just the
available
verses.
is just the texts and then the shlokas. Yeah.
Okay, that'd be amazing. Yeah. And then this is going to be every how often this event? Every month or something?
We're gonna be posting on the groups so everybody can join us there and see the posts that as we prepare the next event. We were talking something about a month more or
Right.
less for the next one, but then from that one to the next one might be a bit more distance, so that people can prepare also the panelists for the questions and all that.
Yeah. Okay. So as a member of the audience, I really want to be doing some prep as well. That's my request.
Yes, you're welcome.
That would be wonderful.
More than welcome to.
We really appreciate
Yeah,
questions.
because then it's much more. It's more rewarding. I feel like I'm helping you realize your dreams of more participation from the guests, the people that turn up. So yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
I've heard one time in the Harikata that they said that if you just have a cow, the milk is not going to come by itself naturally. You need an expert person to milk the cow. So that's going to be the job of the people asking
I
the
can
questions.
tell you that's true because I've milked cows and it's not as easy as it looks. and I was useless. So yeah, it's true. It's like the cow has advantage. Like on its face, it's looking like you thought this was easy, didn't you? Well, it's not.
And whack with the tail.
Yeah, but also you need a calf. And the calf for
Okay.
those people who are eager to drink and hear.
Yes.
The milker's the speaker, and the listeners are the calves.
That's nice. I love that. That's great.
Well, that's not from me. That's, that's Bhagavad Gita. Arjun was the calf.
Wonderful. Okay.
What do the
well,
monkeys do, Maharaj?
So we can stop there.
Monkeys, you should know. Tell us.
Okay. I don't want to derail your event too much, so I'll be quiet now.
No, that's wonderful. No, thank you so much, Yashoda. We really appreciate that. And once again, thank you everybody joining. We really value it. And I noticed also some people have been sharing and inviting people. So, thank you everybody who's done that. And thank you to Maduri, who's been a complete lifesaver. Thank you to Shamal, also really amazing on the tech end, along with a friend of his. And Shidevi Didi from the Ganga Matas also has been fantastic, and everybody else who's participated, shared, been present. If you're watching on the recording also, thank you, and do get involved. Okay, we're going to close out now. We're going to
Well done,
stop.
guys.
We're going to stop the recording,
Well,
but we continue live if anybody wants to also contribute and add something else to this, but recording is off.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, Yashoda, I
I
sent.
need to stop the live stream also.
Okay, Yashoda, I sent all of that stuff directly to your WhatsApp, including the chapter that we posted today.